Hello there, this is your online tutor, Mr. Ilaki. So basically today we'll be looking at graphs of a quadratic function, which is always part of the exam. Okay, so these are graphs of functions. So by the end of this unit, you should be able to identify a quadratic uh, function. Okay, then identify the features of graphs of the function where we have the vertex, the axis of the symmetry, the intercept, then find the turning point of the quadratic equation, and also uh, x and y intercept of the quadratic equation. Then you also learn how to sketch the graph of the quadratic equation. Okay, so basically, when we talk about a quadratic equation or a quadratic function, okay, so a quadratic function is a function in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, or in the form of this one. Okay, so the normal one which we know is the standard one is f of x is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, which is the standard form. So we use this one here. Okay, then we talk about the the general shape of a graph of a quadratic function is a smooth curve that opens up or down. So it opens up or down. Okay, so where we have the minimum and the maximum. Okay, so we talk about uh, the vertex. So the vertex is the extreme point of the graph. Okay, or in short, this is the turning point. Okay, it is the turning point of the graph. Okay, if the graph curves up, the vertex represents the lowest point of the graph or the minimum. Okay, so if the graph is curved up, okay, it represents the minimum. Okay, then if the graph curves down, okay, the vertex represents the highest point of the graph or the maximum point. Okay, so the axis of a symmetry. So the graph of a quadratic function has one axis of symmetry. So if it passes through the turning point, okay, then it is parallel to the y axis. Okay, so basically I will explain in detail when we look at the questions. Okay, then x and y intercept. So we have the x and y intercept. So the y intercept is a point where the graph crosses uh, crosses the y-axis. Okay, then the x-intercept is where the graph crosses the x-axis. Okay, then when we talk about graphs of a quadratic function, okay, they have one they have when we talk about the graphs of quadratic function have one y intercept with 0 or 2 with the x-intercept. So we'll look at the graph here. Okay, so when we look at this particular graph, we are able to see, okay, we have this is the y-axis, okay, then this is the x-axis. Okay, so this is the um, x interception. So this is the x interception. Okay, then this is what the y interception. Okay, So we have, this is our smooth cable, the one we're talking about here. Then this is our function where we have f of x is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. Then the point where this touches, okay, this is the vertex, okay, the vertex, okay, so this is the vertex, okay, where we have minimum point or the maximum point. So we know that if it's pointing in this direction, it's the minimum point. So this is the y-intercept, okay. This is the y-intercept when it touches this particular point. So this is the x-intercept I was talking about. So also this one is the x-intercept since it's passing through this point. Okay. We look at this demonstration here. So if we see this graph, okay. So when a is greater than 0, okay, when a is greater than 0, so referring to the quadratic equation, okay, when we have our a which is greater than 0, it means that our graph opens up, okay. The vertex of the graph has a minimum point, so this graph is going to open up. So when we have numbers greater than 0, so this vertex is going to open up, okay. Then when we have a is less than 0, okay, we know that the vertex is going to open down, or the graph is going to be kept as an open which is facing down. So the vertex of the graph has a maximum point, okay. So we look at the formulas, okay, for finding the turning point, how to find the turning point. If the quadratic function is standard in the standard form of ax of f of x is equals to ax plus b of x plus c, the x and y coordinates of the turning points is obtained by the following, okay. So we have x is equals to negative b over a, okay. In the y is equals to the function of a, the function of this one, okay. So I'll explain in details when we look at the examples, okay. All right, so how to find the x and y intercept? The first changes the functions into a we need to first change the function into the an equation of ax plus bx plus c, okay, into y is equals to ax plus bx plus c. So to find the y intercept, we need to let y x be equals to 0 and calculate for y. So when we let x to be equals to 0, then we can calculate for y, okay. Then in the same scenario, to find the x intercept, okay, we let y be equals to 0 and calculate for x, okay. We let y be equals to 0 and calculate for x, okay. So we'll look at a couple of examples. Okay, then the next thing is how to sketch equation of functions. Okay, how to sketch a graph. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you rewrite the quadratic function in the form of f of x, which is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, into the quadratic equation where we have y is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. Then determine whether the graph opens up or down. Okay, we know that when a is greater than 0, the graph opens up. When a is less than 0, the graph opens down. Okay, then how we find the turning point. Okay, then we find the y and x intercept, then draw a smooth curve connecting the points. Okay, so we'll now look at examples based on this particular topic. All right, so we continue. So given this question, okay, we're told that sketch the graph of the function f of x is equals to x squared plus 4x plus c. So what are we supposed to do in this particular case? We are going to rewrite. Okay, we need to rewrite the quadratic expression in this form, then determine whether the graph opens or up or not, then find the turning point, then find the y and x intercept, then draw the smooth curve connecting the points. Okay, so in order for us to answer this particular question, what we need to do is first things first, we need to rewrite this expression. Okay, f of x is equals to x squared plus 4x plus 3 into the form which is y is equals to x squared plus 4x plus 3. Then we identify then we need to identify what we have been given in this particular case in terms of a, b, c, and c. Okay, so we write it on our side here. Okay, something like this. So our a is represented by this constant, which is x, which is just 1. Then our b is 4, is equals to 4. Then our c is equals to 3. Okay, so from this we can therefore conclude that a is greater than 0. Okay, so the graph opens up opens opens up has opens up. So sorry for that. So the graph opens okay, so the graph opens, so So therefore we're saying a, if a is greater than 1, greater than 0, the graph has the graph has a minimum point. So in this particular case we're saying the graph will be like this. So we have x and sorry for that. So we have the x there and the y here. So the graph should be something like this. Okay, so the minimum will be here. So this is just an example I'm giving before we solve the actual question. Okay, then we are told to find the turning point. So how do we find the turning point? Okay, so for us to calculate the turning point, we're saying we use the formula x is equals to negative b over 2a. So in this particular case, we are going to substitute by what we have been given in our question. Our b is going to be negative 4 over 2 multiplied by 1. So our a is 1. So which is equals to negative 4 over 2 multiplied by 2 is equals to 2 multiplied by 1 is equals to 2, which is just going to be negative 2. So then for us to find y, okay, for us to find y, we are going to substitute. So we're going to say y is equals to x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay, so we substitute where there is x by negative 2. So y is equals to open brackets negative 2 squared plus 4 multiplied by negative 2 plus 3. Okay, so our answer in this particular case, when we work out this, we're going to have 4. So negative 2 squared is 4 plus negative 8. Sorry for that. So plus negative 8, okay, plus 3. Then from there we can work out this. We're going to have our final answer as which is equals to negative 1, okay, as our final answer. So therefore our turning point, okay, in this particular case is just going to be negative 2 comma negative 1. Okay, now since we have found the turning point, okay, we're going to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Okay, the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So for us to find the y-intercept, we know that on our equation, okay, given in our questions, we know that when in the y-axis x is equals to 0. So in the y-axis, okay, x is equals to 0. Okay, so we're going to work out our expression. Okay, so we're going to have y is equals to x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay, so we'll replace by 0 where there is x plus 4 multiplied by 0 plus 3. So therefore we know this always give us 0, so y is equals to 3. Okay, then for us to find y, we know that when we are dealing with the y-intercept, okay, in the x-axis y is equals to 0. So y is equals to 0 when in the y-axis y is equals to 0. So in this particular case, we have our function, okay, we have our function which is where we've been here, f of x is equals to x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay, so we'll replace it with y. Okay, and we're going to have x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay, so we're going to since we know that this is equals to 0, we're now going to substitute. So we're going to have x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equals to 0. So this is a quadratic equation now. Okay, so we're now going to solve this question using factorization. So we need to find the product and the sum. So in this particular case, we know that a multiplied by c gives us our product, then our sum is just equals to b. Okay, sorry, our sum is just equals to b. Okay, it is equals to b. Hence we're saying 1 multiplied by 3 is just going to give us 3. Then our sum is just going to be 4. So when we need to find two numbers, if we multiply them, they will give us 3. Okay, so if we multiply these two numbers, they will give us 3, and if we add them, they will give us 4. So these two numbers are 1 and 3. So if we multiply 1 by 3, we get 3. Then if we add 1 plus 4, 1 plus 3, we get 4. So we're going to replace where there is this with these variables. So we are going to have x squared plus x plus 3x plus 3. So we group this with this, and also we group this with this. Hence, we're going to factor out what is common. So what is common in this particular case is x, and also x is common. So x is common, and we remain with 1x plus 1. So this comes out, we will have 1 here, then plus what is common here is 3. Okay, and we're going to have x plus 1. Okay, therefore going to pick one of these, so we are equating this to 0. Okay, we equate this to 0. Okay, so hence we're going to have x plus 3. Okay, so x plus 3, which is x plus 1, which is equals to 0. Okay, so x plus 3 we equate it to 0, or x plus 1 we equate it to 0. Okay, so therefore when this crosses the equal sign, it's going to be negative 3, or x is equals to negative 1. Okay, so therefore our y and our x intercept is just going to be equals is 3, negative 3 and negative 1. Okay, so having found this, we can now plot our graph. Okay, we can now plot our graph. Okay, so having known or having answered this, we can now plot our graph. Okay, so this is going to be like this. Since we have we know that a is greater than 0, it opens up to the turning point. So the turning point is negative 2, 1. Okay, and we have here we have 3, negative 3, 0, and this side we have negative 1, 0. Okay, so this is our x-axis and this is our y. So this is basically how we can answer such kinds of questions. So now look at some exam questions based on this particular topic. Thank you. All right, so we continue. If you have any question, kindly let me know. So we have been given this question. We're told that the diagram below represents the graph of a curve y is equals to x squared plus minus 3x plus 3 passing through the points A, B, C, and C. Okay, so we're told to find the coordinates of the points A, B, C. Okay, so how do we find the coordinates of the points A, B, C? Then the minimum value of y. Okay, so in this particular case, we'll look at this particular question. All right, so in this question, we are told to find the coordinates of A, B, C, and C. So we should take note to say that in the y-axis x is equals to 0, and then in the x-axis y is equals to 0. So in this particular case, okay, when for us to find a, okay, the coordinates for a, we're going to say x is equals to 0. Okay, x is equals to 0. So y, our function is x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay, so y will be equals to y is 0 squared plus 4 minus, so minus minus 4x, sorry, minus 4 multiplied by 0, multiplied by 0 plus 3. Therefore, our y is equals to 3. Okay, so therefore our a coordinates is just going to be 0 comma 3. Okay, so looking at our question, okay, this question, so our a coordinates, okay, is just 0 comma 3. Okay, this is our a coordinates. Okay, all right, we resume. So this is the a coordinate. Okay, then for us to find the coordinates of b, okay, and c, we're now going to say when y is looking at using uh, this one, when y is equals to 0. So we have y is equals to x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay, so we replace our y is 0, so we're going to have x squared plus minus 4x plus 3. Okay, so we interchange this, it comes this side, we're going to have x squared minus 4x plus 3, which is equals to 0. So we're now going to use factorization method. So we're going to find uh, the sum and the product. So for the product, so our a is 1 here. So we have, let me just write it here. So our a is 1, our b is negative 4, then our C is equals to 3. Okay, so hence we're going to have A multiplied by C, which is this one. 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. Okay, then our sum is -4. So we need to find factors that can go into which we can when we multiply them, they will give us 4. When we add them, they will give us 3. They will give us -4. So in this particular case, you can pause the video. Okay, you can pause this video, then you try to work out this. So the two numbers we can use are -1 and negative -3. Okay, so when we multiply -1 multiplied by -3, we get 4. And then when we add negative -4, -1 plus -3, we get -4. So this satisfies. So we're now going to substitute. Well, we have x squared minus x, okay, minus x minus 3x plus 3. So we group this and we also group this. So hence x, we'll factor out what is common. X is common, so we have x remain with 1x, then minus 1. Okay, then this side will also have 3. Okay, then we'll have x, this negative multiplied by this is negative, so we're going to have -1. Okay, which is, so we equate this to 0. Okay, we always equate it to 0. So then we're going to pick one of the equations. So we're going to have x minus 3. Okay, then x minus 1. Okay, which is equals to 0. So then we're going to have x minus 3 is equals to 0, or x minus 1 is equals to 0. So we work out this, so this will cross the equal sign. We're going to have x is equals to 3, or x is equals to -1. Sorry, +1. Sorry. So we have x is equals to +3 and +1. So therefore, our b coordinate is going to be 1, 0, and c is going to be 3, 0. Okay, So we can look at our question here. So our b in this particular case is going to be 1, 0, and also our c is going to be it's going to be 3, 0. Okay. We've moved. Let's look at another question. All right, so now we look at this question. Okay, so the diagram below shows the sketch of a graph of y is equals to x squared minus 6x plus 8, cutting the x-axis at b and d, at the x-axis at point b and c. Okay, so we're told to find the coordinates of A and of B and C. Then we're told to find the coordinates of the turning points of the graph. Okay, so the sketch of a graph of y is equals to x squared minus 6x plus 8, cutting the x-axis at B and D, at the x-axis at point B and C. Okay, so we're told to find the coordinates of A and of B and C. Then we're told to find the coordinates of the turning points of the graph. Okay. Okay, so for us to solve or to find the coordinates of B and C, we know that when y is equals to 0. Okay, so in this particular case, we have y is equals to 0, so we have x squared minus 6x plus 8. Okay, so we interchange, we are going to have x squared minus 6x plus 8, which is equals to 0. So our a in this particular case is 1, our b is -6, and our c is 8. Okay, so we are now going to solve this, okay, using factorization. So we're going to find the product and the sum. Okay, so our product is 1 multiplied by 8, which is just going to be 8. Then our sum is 6. Okay, so our sum is basically 6. Okay, then we need to find two factors we can use. Okay, the factors that we can use in this expression. So the two factors which we can use in this expression is basically Okay, negative 2 and 4. So when we multiply negative 4 and 3, okay, and 4, negative 2 and 4. So when we multiply this, it will give us 8. When we add this, it will give us negative 6. So basically, hence we're going to write our expression x squared minus negative x minus negative 6 negative 4x plus 8. Okay, so we group or we fact out what is common. So we're going to have our x is common this side. We are going to remain with 1x inside minus 2. Okay, then this side we're going to have what is common is 4, and going to have x remaining in minus 2. Okay, so basically this is what we have. So we equate this to 0, we also equate this to 0. So we are going to pick one of the equations. So we're going to have x minus 2 and also x minus 4, which is equals to 0. Hence we equate both equations to 0. So we're going to have x minus 2 is equals to 0. Then x minus 4 is equals to 0. So this is we're going to have x is going to be equals to positive 2, or x is equals to positive 4. Okay, so hence therefore the coordinates for B is going to be 2, 0. Then the coordinates for C is basically 4, 0. Okay, so for question B, we're told to find the coordinates of the turning point of the graph. So basically what we need to do in this particular case is we use our formula, which is x is equals to negative b over 2a. So we have our equation, which we already have. Okay, so it's just a matter of substituting. So we're going to have negative open negative 6 over 2 multiplied by 1. Okay, so hence this is going to be 6 over 2, which is equals to 3. Okay, so hence for us to find y, we substitute time. Okay, so in our equation we're going to have, our equation is y is equals to x squared minus 6x plus 8. So we know that our x is equals to 3, so we substitute. So y is equals to 3 squared minus 6 multiplied by 3 plus 8. So we're going to have y is equals to 9 minus 18 plus 8. Therefore, y is equals to basically negative 1. Okay, so therefore the turning point is equals to 3, 1. Okay, that's our turning point. Thank you. So thank you very much for watching. This has been your online tutor. Kindly like and follow my YouTube channel for more of such videos.